Welcome back to Spookier Celluloid, the channel that exists only because I like the sound of my own voice. Speaking of voice, I apologize for it sounding strange. Last week I had a mouth infection, and this week I think I'm starting a cold, so my nose is stuffy and my throat is weird. Anyways, I haven't had a great week. I didn't really have time to watch any movies. I think the first movie I watched was Monday. I watched Zombie. And Friday for work, I had the pleasure to watch Sing 2, the children's cartoon. At least I got paid fairly a lot of money to watch Sing 2. But today I'm not talking about Sing 2. Today I'm talking about Demon Wind. And if you can see, this is the amazing lenticular cover that Vinegar Syndrome released when they originally put out this movie. And no, I didn't spend a ridiculous amount of money on this slipcover. I bought this when it was originally released in 2017. So it's been a while. This was probably one of their earliest, well, not really, because I think they started back in 2014, I think, is my oldest Vinegar Syndrome release. Anyways, it's not important. What is this film? Well, it's a very fun, really fun movie. Calling it a simple Evil Dead ripoff would be true, but it would also undervalue what this film truly is and the experience that this film brings. And the back of the box says it's like Evil Dead meets Lucio Fulci. I can see the Lucio Fulci part, but it's definitely more Evil Dead than Lucio Fulci. The story is basically the same as Evil Dead. Not really. There is actually some backstory to why the kids are at the cabin, and it's not really a cabin, it's an abandoned farm. So it's this guy Corey, who Corey is no Bruce Campbell. Think less Bruce Campbell and more Campbell Soup in his acting. He's a bit of a shitty actor. He's very stiff. He's not very charismatic. Yeah, I don't really think he's a highlight of the film, but we spend a lot of time with him. Anyways, his grandparents or parents they died at their farmhouse in the middle of nowhere because they were attacked by demons. A few years later, Corey is on the hunt after his father passed away to go back to the farm and to, I don't know, rebuild the farm? Just closure, I guess? Anyway, he goes there with his girlfriend and his group of friends, which I have to say, I love them. They might not be the best actors, but what they are is a group of goofy and silly characters that are so of their time. You have you have two friends that one is a magician and the other is like a greaser from the 60s. He has a revolver and the magician has a shotgun. I don't know why they brought a revolver and a shotgun to a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, but they have them. And then you have the guy with the glasses, who of course doesn't believe in anything supernatural. He says even he doesn't believe what he saw with his own eyes after seeing, supernatural shit. And his girlfriend, who's like, I don't want you to bury me here, and she's the first one who dies. And then there's Dale. Dale is the Chad, and he's there with his girlfriend, and all my homies hate Dale. Dale is so, so the magician is also the ex-boyfriend of Dale's girlfriend, and he doesn't like them being here, and he tries to fight them, he tries to fight the magician 2 or 3 times, and at the end he just punches him. Man, Dale is a prick. But I love Dale, but no, I don't. All my homies hate Dale. So yeah, And then they arrive to the farm and it's completely destroyed. However, when they open the door, there's a farmhouse, but outside of that, there's nothing. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he opens the door and there's the house, but then you get outside shots and it's abandoned and there's nothing between the door and there's no house anymore. And our character Corey even goes in between and he's like, oh, he's confused. And then he decides to enter the house, which is a bad idea. And then there's something written on the wall. And of course, the nerdy guy reads it because he can read Latin. And that starts, since anytime you read Latin, you just automatically set out a demon. So there's chairs that start flying, there's a knife. They go outside of the house because it's getting possessed by a demon, and of course their cars' batteries are shot. So they can't drive their car, so they walk around, and then there's fog, and there's atmosphere, and then there's just 3 girls who appear in white dresses and warn them of things going on. And speaking of warning, I forgot, but when they drive to the farmhouse, they meet like the Crazy Ralph character of this film, and I just love him. He's just so angry, and he just pulls a gun on Dale, which, respect. Anybody who threatens Dale with violence gets my respect. Fuck Dale. Where was I? Yeah, so they get lost because, it's an infinite loop, because it's demon possessed. The entire thing is possessed by a demon. So they go back before it gets dark to the house, and then silliness happens. There's some demons and they get transformed, and there's a badass scene where the magician and his partner are tempted outside of the house by this woman with her breasts out, and they go there and they just get attacked by a bunch of demons and they shoot. The gore is pretty good. The makeup effects on the demons, especially the one at the end, are pretty cool. They look a bit cheesy from time to time, but overall the gore is top notch in this. It's really good gore. So yeah, eventually they get like killed one by one, and eventually we're stuck with Corey and his girlfriend, who Corey at the end throws a spell and becomes a demon himself because he read from his grandmother's book because she was a witch. This movie gets silly, so I won't spoil too much, even though I kind of did by telling you that Dale turns into a demon at the end. But yeah, I like Demon Wind. It has its issues. Pacing isn't great. Like I said, some of the acting is iffy, especially Corey, our main character. There's some moments that are long. There's a lot of it's not a perfect film. This is clearly a very low budget 1990s film that was heavily inspired by Evil Dead. But what's important is the gore is good, it's really fun. The soundtrack is really strange. The theme song at the beginning about like Jesus. But yeah, gore is good. It's fun. It's a fun movie. That's all I can say, is that it's a really fun way to spend like 97 minutes. It's not it's not as good as Evil Dead, but I really like it. It's really charming. It's like the actors are bad, but the characters are lovable. Other than Dale, you don't really want to see them die, but because of how good the gore and the special effects are, you kind of want them to die. Yeah, so I think this is probably one of the most underrated film that Vinegar Syndrome put out. I think this one didn't make it to DVD. It went straight from VHS to Blu-ray, because this was quite an obscure title before they released it. I never heard of it. I never heard anybody talk about this one, really. but then they released it and I bought it, and I enjoyed it the first time, but this time I really got what this film was. And what this film is a fun Evil Dead ripoff with some good gore, goofy characters, and some atmosphere. So thank you guys for watching this Spookier Celluloid video. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed to my main channel, which I don't think any of you are, go check it out. And yeah, see you guys next time.